Now we're seeing politicians and health bureaucrats trying desperately to rewrite history, trying to convince people that they never advocated for crippling illiberal lockdowns, vaccine mandates, school closures. No, it's not their fault. They just made recommendations. I didn't think anyone would be stupid enough to actually follow them or enforce them. Along with Australia and New Zealand, Canada was right up there for COVID madness. But Prime Minister Justin Trudeau now claims that's just disinformation. He says he never insisted that everyone, young and old, healthy and infirm, get vaccinated against COVID. That's just fake news. Let's have a quick look at what Justin is saying now and what he said back then.
Misinformation and disinformation is carrying people to believe things that are untrue. And vaccinations is a perfect example of it.
Any vaccine we distribute to Canadians will be safe for Canadians.
You know, are people who've probably gotten very sick from vaccinations.
Every vaccine that is approved is safe for Canadians, is uncompromising.
Well, individuals are allowed to make their own choices. There may be all sorts of different reasons why someone is hesitant to get vaccinated. There's no more excuses to not get your shot. And therefore, while not forcing anyone to get vaccinated,
Enforcement measures in place will make sure that everyone is vaccinated.
I chose to make sure that all the incentives,
Travelers across the country need to be fully vaccinated. People coming into the country need to be fully vaccinated.
were there. Don't get to work in the public service, don't get to go to movie theaters or gyms or restaurants.
That compilation courtesy of Milk Bar TV. But Trudeau is not alone. This week we saw Anthony Fauci, the man responsible for so much of the dysfunction surrounding our COVID response. Well, Fauci now claims the heavy-handed response was not his doing. Speaking to the New York Times, he's tried to absolve himself of all responsibility. Show me a school that I shut down, he said. Show me a factory that I shut down. Never. I never did. These people, my goodness, we can never forget what they inflicted on us, and there must be a reckoning for all the politicians and public health officials for the insane overreach, the inhumane policies inflicted on free people in the name of safety. They cannot be allowed to dodge responsibility.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Christian Terhes, along with my colleague Ivan Sinčić, and some more colleagues right here in the front row. We are welcoming all of you in the European Parliament. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for fighting, I would say, for the same cause all over the world. In October of 2021, when we started the first press conference in Strasbourg, where we tried to defend, first of all, our rights as MEPs to enter this building without a green certificate, and the rights of all the workers helping us right now, translating and doing all the technical work to be able to enter and do their job without being conditioned of a green certificate. We haven't realized at that point in time about the gravity and the seriousness of everything that was happening around the world. Initially, for us, it was a matter of principles. We were elected by the people, for the people. We should have been allowed to enter the building to perform what we were elected for. So we started small. We were 4 MEPs initially. All 4 of us are here. But then after 2 weeks, more MEPs reached out to us. When we posted the first press conference online, we were shocked by the many thousands of emails that we received from all over the world telling us, well, finally someone is saying something. Because everybody looked around and said, well, it's not good what is happening, but, you know, nobody, I would say, in politics or in civil society or even in the media was talking seriously about what was happening. So we started small, and just by kept asking questions, you know, presenting what was happening from our perspective, you know, more and more people got engaged. But on the other side of the ocean, you guys were doing what you were doing from a medical perspective. So now after a year and some months, we are kind of meeting together, you know, here in the European Parliament. On one side, us as MEPs fighting for freedom, for liberty, in Europe, in our case, I saw that many members of the US Congress are doing the same thing in the United States and in many other countries around the world. And I think the event today that we are hosting here in the European Parliament, the International COVID Summit, the 3rd edition, it is important mainly for all of us, to share ideas and to know each other and to maybe come up with what we could do in the future. But more importantly, this event, it's important for all the hundreds of millions of people, maybe billions of people who will hear about this event and watch us. Because what happened in the past 3 years is not okay. It's not okay from the perspective of democracy, it's not okay from the perspective of respect of human rights, and it is not okay from the medical perspective. Because at the end of the day, when we hear someone saying that science says, well, you should allow the science to say whatever scientists have to say. But what we've seen what I've been seeing happening in the past 3 years is that some scientists were not allowed to even think. Otherwise, then some bureaucrats or some unelected officials decided. So we have to stop that.